if we can accomplish this much in 6 months, what more can we do in 10 years?
So speaking of accomplishing so much in 6 months, like what's with the API? I mean, Google Plus API is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
What's the story here?
I am 100% convinced. This is a case where you can put the blame squarely on me. We certainly have the technical capability to open up the API right now and give rewrite access to the stream to everybody. I just don't want to do it.
Why?
Because I have seen others open up APIs to their services, develop an entire ecosystem of third-party clients, and then a few years later change their mind and shut down that ecosystem and piss off developers. When Google releases an API, we want you to know that we're going to back it up and that we're not going to revoke access to it. Today, if I opened up API access, write access to the stream, chances are most people's streams would be polluted because we need to rank that information correctly. A third party injecting content into your stream could easily overwhelm your stream.
But you know, on my Android phone, I want to take a picture. They want to click on the share icon. Right now, I see on the share icon, I see email, I see Gmail, I see Twitter, I see Facebook. I do not see Google+. When can I share from an Android phone camera?
So you can actually do that through the Android intent model. The Android intent model, the way the Android team, I do it all the time. How many of you share photos from Android to Google+? Anybody here? Wow, lots of hands. Now they do it by using the intent.
Well, they're all Google employees.
Okay. Don't put your hands up. Don't put your hand up if you're a Google employee. And
obviously, there's no hands.
Okay, once again, how many of you share from Android to Google+? I see lots of hands.
From the camera. From the camera.
Well, not from the camera. Not from the camera. From the Google+.
Yeah, but okay, so there's two scenarios, right? So one is I take a picture, I want to share from the camera. The other is, the starting point is, I want to take a picture. Why don't I Google Plus the app?
Oh, I see.
That doesn't make sense.
I see. What you want is, you don't want to go to Google Plus. You don't want to go to any other service. You want to use the native Android camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that because of a lack of API?
No. That's just a matter of timing. You know, we did the ICS release in November. Remember, Android is on a little bit of a different time schedule because you have to release the version, you have to get it to OEMs, they have to test it with their phones, they have to get it to the carriers have to do testing, and many months later, consumers get their phone. I suspect many of you yet have ice cream sandwich on your phones, and so you get an idea of the lag. And so,
how many of you have ICS on your phone?
Yeah, good.
See, all the Google employees.
That is a lot of Google employees. And so, you know, that's just a function of Andy's team injecting that right into the native app. But across all of Google, you're going to go see this kind of integration.
So, before the end of 2012, will I be able to post to Google Plus without using Google Plus?
When you say post to Google Plus,
I want to use Buffer app, or I want to use, you know, Hootsuite without joining the enterprise program and begging someone to be in your beta.
I can't tell you that we're going to do that. I hope we can get to it by the end of 2012, but I'm going to release that API when we're confident that we're not going to screw over developers. You know,
but isn't screwing over developers a moral and ethical thing? Can't you just decide you're moral and ethical today?
No,
what are you worried about?
No, if you release the API and then revoke it because the user experience is terrible and our ranking is not good in the stream, then that's a terrible experience for developers. And so I could follow the other model, right?
I think you should follow the other model.
You know what we could? We could open up the API with a huge caveat that says we may change this API at any moment. We don't guarantee any consistency.
Well, they're all Facebook developers. They're used to that anyway.
We hold ourselves to a higher standard. It turns out we actually have a developer ecosystem on Android, on the web, in Chrome, and we're one Google to them. So we can't act one way with developers on Google Plus and think that that's not going to affect the reputation of developers who are building for Android. You know, we're really trying to be thoughtful about this and do right by developers. And sometimes that means restraint. The reality is, as Google Plus continues to grow, as we continue to gain momentum, developers will always want access to the stream.
Well, they want it now.
Yes. You know, it's kind of funny. We get these messages that A, we're a ghost town, and B, developers desperately want to get in. And so it's kind of like...
No, but the two are not necessarily contradictory. It may be that some people believe Google Plus is a ghost town, and developers want to get in, so it's not a ghost town.
Well, I'm willing to take the heat on this. I'm the one that's holding this back. Like I said, we could open up the API tomorrow, but I'm waiting until the time is right that we believe that it won't degrade the stream experience, that we have the appropriate ranking. When that time is right, boy, you can be assured I'll be happy to announce it. It's just not today.
Okay.